Hey, what's up guys, Jakey here. Today we're checking out the new WALLHACK Hall Effect keyboard. This is the K-001. Alright, editing me here. I felt that it was appropriate to talk about the price point of this keyboard because if you guys didn't know, they first announced the keyboard at $360 USD, which obviously is ridiculous. That's an extremely high price point. And even though I really like this board and it sounds and feels really good, as you'll see later on in the review, there's absolutely no way $360 USD was justifiable, and quite deservingly, they got a lot of pushback on this price point. And so WALLHACK did end up backtracking, and they are now releasing the K1 for $279 USD, which is definitely better, but in my opinion, still overpriced. I expected the K1 to land in the $200 to $250 USD price range, but for $279 USD, that is quite a premium price tag. But at the end of the day, only you can decide whether or not that price tag is worth it to you. But if you guys do decide to pick up the K1, you can use my code Jakey at checkout, which will give you a 5% discount and does help support the channel as well. So yeah, this is an 8000 Hz Hall Effect keyboard. Comes in two different colorways. You can either get the black slate version or the silver natural version, which I have here. It comes in this solid box with latches, very similar to the glass mouse pads. And there is the board itself. So this is a 65% form factor, meaning you're getting arrow keys, no function row though. Instead, you actually have this fat little forehead here on the keyboard where you have a knob as well as some LEDs up here. So yeah, this is what the natural silver colorway looks like. It's actually very clean. You can see here the keycaps are a black PBT double shot shine through, and the lettering here is very subtle as well. You can't even really see it too much when the LEDs are off, but we're going to see how this looks when it's plugged in later. This is quite a hefty board because the case here is machined aluminum. On the bottom here you have more WALLHACK branding, and then you also have 4 different screw points where you can screw in different risers for changing the typing angle. And the USB-C port is right in the middle of the keyboard. So let's actually get into what else is in the box here. We have a USB-C to USB-A cable braided, an instruction manual, as well as some WALLHACK stickers. Included as well is a metal switch puller, which is actually very high quality. You also get a screwdriver, which is going to be for installing those riser kits to change the typing angle on the keyboard. And then just a very simple keycap puller. And then finally here on the bottom, you have those different riser kits. So you can either choose between a 4-degree typing angle, which is this guy right here. And by the way, these are like solid metal with a silicone base. And this is the 7-degree typing angle. And you can see there's those screw holes that match up perfectly here with the bottom of the keyboard. And if you want to install these, you just line it up like that and then screw in the screws. Actually a pretty good way of doing it, especially compared to like the Wooting 80HE. I actually prefer this system a lot more because with the 80HE, you don't really have any screws or anything. You just kind of snap them on. But with these ones, you're pretty much screwing them in. So they're not going anywhere, which is great, especially if you're traveling with the keyboard a lot. Let's go over the switches here really quickly. So these are actually code developed with Gateron, and there's actually 3 different choices that you can go with. There's the light, medium, and heavy switches. All of the switches here are pre-lubed from the factory, but inside of this board right here, by default, are just the medium switches. One thing I will say is that I actually really like the way this board looks. It's a very clean, minimalistic look. All right, let's actually get this board plugged in because I'm kind of curious how the keycaps are going to look when the LEDs are on. That is actually really clean looking. I actually really like the font that they used on the keycaps here. This is a really nice, clean font choice. I'm glad they didn't go with something like super gamery. This font choice here is so clean. I feel like it fits the aesthetic really well. And then the shine through keycaps as well, with just like the basic white LED color, looks extremely clean. By the way, the LEDs in this keyboard are only white. There is no RGB in the K-001, but I actually feel like it fits the aesthetic perfectly. And since the LEDs can only be white in this board, you're not going to get that weird off-white color that you would get on other RGB boards if you set the LED to white, since there's no other colors to interfere with the pure white on this board. I mean, this is just a nice looking board, I'm not going to lie. Okay, before anything else, let's actually do a quick sound test so that you guys can get an idea of how this keyboard sounds. There's also a pour-on layer and a plastic film under the PCB as well to help dampen that sound. And everything here is screw mounted inside of the board. All right, let's go over the software now. Keep in mind, this is a pre-release version of the software, so I'm sure that there's plenty of things that might change in the future. So you can see here, we can change the global actuation point on the left here, and that will all auto-save onto the keyboard. You can also have different profiles you can see here, and you can also switch between the profiles using this knob on the top right of the keyboard, and those LEDs will show you which profile you're on as well. You can also use this knob to adjust your actuation point and rapid trigger on the fly without opening the web-based software if you don't want to. And then this is actually a pretty interesting way of doing it. So if I wanted to change just my movement keys, for example, I would select them like this and then hit enter. And then you can see here on the left, it now adds a separate section, like a separate row just for my movement keys, and I can change it in here. You can also just click in here and type the number if you want as well. And then you can see here, second tab for rapid trigger, turn this on. And then same thing here, if you want to separate it, you would do the exact same thing as earlier. Third tab here is your mapping tab. This is where you can remap all of the keys on your keyboard. And then on the fourth tab is your switch calibration. And then you can also select which switches you actually have in the board, which I assume is going to help with that calibration. And then if you actually have separate switches for separate keys, you can actually change them separately as well by adding another group, just like how you would with the actuation point and rapid trigger. And then on the final tab here is where you can reset your settings, choose the polling rate as well, all the way up to 8,000 Hertz. If you're using this on Mac, there's an option for that as well. And then this keyboard also supports SOCD as well, and you can turn that on here. So if I wanted A and D for my SOCD, I can just select it like that, press done, and now SOCD is enabled for my A and D key. And then you also have your gamepad settings. Since this is an analog keyboard, you can use it to emulate a controller. And that's pretty much it for the software. As for the LED brightness, you can change all of that on the board itself. So as you can see here, if you hold down the LED key and you turn the knob, you can adjust the brightness doing that. And it'll give you a visual indicator as well how bright the LEDs actually are. And then you can also turn on and off the LEDs just by holding function and pressing that LED key. All right, now let's talk about the performance of the board in game. So the K-001 features an 8,000 Hz polling rate as well as a 16,000 Hz scan rate, which is going to result in super low latency. WALLHACK claims that there's a 0.1 millisecond input delay on this keyboard. Now, as I've said time and time again, with most of the Hall Effect keyboards that I've looked at, a lot of these Hall Effect keyboards nowadays are pretty much on par with one another, and the performance in-game is super top-notch, and that includes the WALLHACK K-001. I had no issues using this keyboard in-game. It performed basically the same as every other high-performance Hall Effect keyboard that I've tested, including my Wooting, so really no complaints here. In my opinion, this keyboard sounds great as well, and the switches are factory lubed, so they are very smooth to the touch, and they feel great to play and type on as well. I think the thing that I like the most about the K-001 is definitely just the aesthetics. I love the way that this keyboard looks on the desk. I'm a huge fan of the minimalistic, clean aesthetic, and this keyboard pretty much fits that bill exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That was my look at the K1. Overall, it is a really nice board, but whether or not that $279 price tag is worth it is really going to be up to you. But if you guys are interested in checking out the K1, I'll leave all of the relevant links in the description below. But that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.